Oh, I've been having some fun. I've been redoing the path up the side of our house, and I've been coming across quite a few curious mysteries. And I don't know, there's certain things that I like to see and things I don't like to see. I don't like it when I come across a gravestone. Warning. The warning on this video has been removed, and this video is highly educational. That's a paver that's had this grave information put here. I can only assume Digger was a dog, and going by the years there, poor old little Digger didn't live too long. And that was actually face down in this area here. I've never lifted these pavers up before, so I'm not exactly sure when you lift things like this up what you're going to find, but I know underneath here I found something quite mysterious, and I quickly covered it up, and hopefully it's going to still be around. And it's not a Sydney funnel web, but there it is there, okay? And I'll have to act quickly here. See that there? That's a cicada nymph going back down into its hole. What's caught me by surprise is how active this nymph is. This is a sizable hole. I can put my whole finger in this hole. Look at the way that it's cut this hole. If I cover this up, the nymph may come back. I've also noticed here, there looks like a nymph that's got caught up here. There's like an exoskeleton of a nymph there. It's a cicada nymph. I'm calling it a nymph while it's still in that phase there, and maybe if I lift up this paver here, who knows what we're going to find. Oh, okay, we've got another hole like this, okay. Mole crickets make shapes like that, but that could be a cicada. Well, I'm trying to get the cicada nymph to reappear there. My son's got a bag here. This is something we found yesterday in this spot here, and it's a bit of a mystery to me. I'll just have to unbag it here and get it out. Okay, there it is there. It is ceramic, it's thick. Well, my son said it was something to do with the Illuminati.
I'm not sure.
There's no marking on it. Very, very strange. To me, it's too thick to be a tile, and I can only assume it's something from the past because we found it fairly well buried. There's something about finding old things that's sort of semi-exciting, especially when it's something you don't know what it is. I'll put that there. And my son is simulating how we find stuff. This is something else that we found. It's another ceramic item. I'll just pull over the sun here. I've got no idea. It's got like to me I thought it was like a little tile. It's got a pattern on it. It is flat, it is thin. It could be like something from a thing that you hang and it dangles and it dingles in the wind, whatever they're called, wind chime. My audience will know. I'm going to come in and see if that cicada nymph, that very active cicada nymph, has reappeared at the top of the hole again. No, and I don't think we're going to see it again. I'm hoping that we saw it enough, and I can't express to you how large this hole is. And even if I go down here, it's a very, very sizable hole. Now, it reminds me of the hole we had out the front of our house that we thought was a rat. We'll just step back in time a little bit to what was possibly a cicada hole, but it may have been something else. That mystery hole has got my son putting some water down it, and the water,
it's drinking.
It goes to another dimension. I'm going to jump like mad if something pops out of that real fast, but no one seems to know what's down this hole. He's got his Nerf gun on standby here. Put some more water in so we can flush out whatever's down there.
You keep drinking water.
No, the hole just keeps getting bigger. More water, more water. Yeah, I think a few people suggested dig up the hole.
Dig up the hole.
Maybe that's what I have to do. We're really pumping it with water. I can't see anything coming out, dead or alive. It's most probably causing a great big spring somewhere in China. Well, one thing, the hole just keeps getting bigger, and it just keeps accepting more water. Okay, we've had a look at that. Maybe it is a rat hole. We've had lots of rats recently. Or maybe it's a cicada hole. Maybe it's a snake hole. Anyway, it's a mystery hole. We love them. And let's now step forward in time. I hope that makes sense. Okay, but that was a cicada, and we certainly saw it. And the other thing that I found, and it's a little bit sad, and here it is here, I believe that is a dead nymph that was underneath a paver. Okay, so I can't see any life in it. You can see it falling apart. It was like trapped under a paver amongst a whole bunch of weeds. It got caught up, and it may have been its little season that's just gone by, and it's just become food for the well, natural kingdom. Just to reenact where I found this nymph that had passed away, I found it amongst all of these roots here. And there's always that mystery about what do these nymphs, which are basically cicadas in their growth phase that live underground for many, many years and come out as beautiful winged cicadas, what was it doing here? And is there a relationship between the cicada nymph and the roots on trees? It's a big mystery about what these guys get up to while they're underground. I've got all these other pavers to uncover, and these have been down for many years, and you're probably wondering, well, why did you get excited about seeing that cicada, Leo? Well, number one, is there a mystery about what they get up to, and that's why I'm lifting these up to see if I can find another one. It's not, well, put it this way, we're well past the cicada season. We're heading into winter as I'm doing this, if that makes any sort of sense. Oh, there we go. There's more activity here. Okay, so if I come down here with the iris of this iPhone going crazy, it looks like it's another dead one. It's one that's sort of been trapped under the paver. Yes, looks like there's another hole over here. So about being trapped, I mean, the soil has been next to these. It's a bit of a, wow, there's another really, really extensive hole there. And I mean like extensive. Okay, so I can only assume there's a, that's funny, I'm sure I saw something coming off the end of that. Maybe they're actually, they're eating, or what they're feeding from is what's these roots here. I'm trying to work this out because I don't think anybody else has, if that makes any sort of sense. Of course, you should be wearing gloves while you're doing this, boys and girls. What's that there? It looks like it's another nymph caught up in the weeds. Wow, this is weird, okay? Look at that. Might have been a very dodgy edit there. I am pretty sure that that's the remains, it's pretty old this, of a cicada nymph, and it's got all that scraggly weed. Like I found the other one caught up in this stuff here. Oh, wow, mystery after mystery, isn't it? You know, you start lifting things up and it just becomes more and more bizarre. There's another dead nymph there. This is becoming quite a repeated pattern, okay? Once again, there's all these little weeds, or roots. Should say the right word here. Very, very fine roots. I'm near what would have been fishbone fern. If I lifted my camera up, you would see the neighbour's fishbone fern. I'm just trying to explain to you what else is around here. Yes, I'm always a bit wary of spiders. A pony ant running across there. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe I don't need to know what that is. It's organic feeling. Okay, next paver. Well, it looks pretty clean. There's some smaller holes here. Wow, I should make this a new, oh, some big holes. Wow, this is really weird. There is another dead nymph. Well, I wonder how many of these little critters don't make it, like up into, you know, up to being winged ones, because we've just gone through a cicada season. That poor thing's passed away. It's empty. Okay, it's been eaten out. But there's another major hole here. I can only assume it's an active nymph, and if I lift this paver up here, ooh, it's like a lottery, isn't it? No, not much to see. Well, I've got those there to lift. The last few, you know, once you start doing this, it's half addictive actually, and you never know what you're going to come across when you lift them up. No, nothing major there. There's probably lots on a micro scale, but not going down to that in this video. No, can't see that much going on there either. Just whiz through these last few. Oh, there's a big hole here. Okay, and now I'm starting to understand what these holes are. Seeing that nymph was fantastic. Oh, ho, ho, okay. Yes, okay, ants. I've just grabbed the torch. That looks like, to me, like pony ants. Please correct me if I'm wrong. They're quite a pretty looking ant, but they've got a pretty nasty sting and bite. I don't like them for that fact, although they are very good at tidying up spiders, and that hole goes all the way down there somewhere. Down into ant world. Do we really need to go there? No, but we've got one more paver to lift up. I will just put the torch down. Okay, here we go. Okay, that looks half clean, but finding the ant colony there, well, that was a nice sort of exciting way to finish off, I dare say. And I will very carefully relocate those ants. You just have to trust me on that one, please trust me. We all like a good mystery hole which is around the house. You just never know what's living down those holes. There could be anything. It could be something small, it could be something quite large. This video was shot back when I was having lots of demonetization problems on YouTube. It's almost a year out of sync to when I shot it by the time it gets uploaded to YouTube. But in the end, we got round to seeing the video. The only problem with the video now is my son appears in the video. What I should have done was blurred him out because, well, it's a big no-no to have minors in videos these days. YouTube today is an extremely different animal versus only a few years back, really, and completely different to when I started on the site some 12 years ago. I'll be quite straight up here. I believe a lot of the fun of the site has evaporated, and that's the best way I can explain it. It was such a different site way back. You know, it hasn't matured. Well, it's sort of matured in a kooky way. It's in its teenage years, and often the teenage years is a time when you can be lost in the wilderness and looking for direction. I feel that's where we're at with YouTube at the moment. I really feel it's lost in the wilderness. And while I was babbling there, I would have been showing you, hopefully, some shots of some rodents that have been very stealthy and very clever and eating cat food. Now, originally I thought there were cats coming around to our place at night and eating all of Fluffy's food. No, no, no. It doesn't work like that at our place, and Fluffy is sometimes out at night and she lets the rats eat her food. Now, there wouldn't be many people who would say, oh, our cats like to have the rats around. Well, it seems that our cat Fluffy loves to invite the rats over for her food. This problem was only seen by me by setting up a new security camera system that I had, and I found that these cameras are better at finding little things like this versus being, let's say, security cameras around the house. In fact, it's a very, very versatile camera system. It costs a lot of money in Australia. It wasn't given to me. I wish it was given to me because then I could have saved some money. But what I've worked out is the system is actually very, very clever, and you can press to record things, and it's very sensitive at seeing all sorts of things that are going on in front of the camera. It's the Arlo 2 system. I've seen lots of people doing unboxings of these videos and they set them up as security cameras, but I really haven't seen anyone venture off of these cameras in other directions. But what I'm finding myself doing is not setting these cameras up around the house looking for prowlers. Well, I'm setting them up around lower to the ground looking for all sorts of other different problems that present at night. In fact, it caught some absolutely stunning footage of a redback spider setting up its wonderful, messy and very brilliant spider web. And once I saw that and saw how fast it does this, it really did explain a lot of the spider science in the way it sets up its web. It seems radically untidy, but when you see the way the spider actually sets its web up, it makes a lot of sense. Seeing the web makes no sense, but seeing the way the spider makes the web, all of a sudden it just clicks. It just says, yeah, okay, yep, that starts to make sense to me now. But what doesn't make sense to me is this rodent problem that we've got. And as I'm finding that there are multiple rodents involved in this, put it this way, as I capture these rodents, I tend to capture another one. In fact, I can tell you this, I'm up to my third one. So how many more rodents will we capture in all of this process of trying to work out, well, who's eating the cat food? And presenting the story about the rodents and the way I captured them is very tricky these days on YouTube. As I said, today's YouTube is nothing like the YouTube, let's say from, wind back maybe, 10 years, 8 years ago. It was a bit of a free-for-all then, and much of that free-for-all has been, well, stripped away. We're in a lot of rules, regulations, and things you can and cannot show on the site. And in the strangest way, the way I dealt with these rodents was a way I would normally not deal with them, because I wanted to make this all sort of, YouTube friendly. So I do deal with these rodents, but what I'm finding is that the problem's actually becoming quite a massive one. I mean, I can handle redback spiders, and I'm starting to understand how to get rid of them, but my crikeys, these rodents are really testing me. And just thinking back on mystery holes and what may be associated with the rodent problem, there is a clanker of a mystery hole that's revealed itself after a lot of rain. And I also noticed Fluffy was digging another hole nearby, so maybe this mystery hole is connected somehow with the rodent problem. These rodents may have quite a very sophisticated network of tunnels and whatnot going on underneath our house. It's certainly starting to look that way.